All right, so this is Kenny Santos out of Toronto, Canada for KennySantos.com. Today, it's Friday, so that means it's time for another another review. And today I'm going to do a podcast review. It's about a podcast called We Are Superman. And it's by a guy by the name of David Clark. And I didn't even know who this guy was until I heard him on a podcast, or another podcast, a month or two ago. And what David is he's what's called an ultra marathon runner. And an ultra, you know those people that run every day and they run marathons? And I look at those people and I say, you know what, those guys are cool. You know what, they run every day. One day maybe I'll run a marathon. These guys are a level above that. The types of races they run are like 50 miles or 100 miles. And a marathon is 26.2 miles, if I remember correctly. These guys run 100 miles, 135 miles, 146 miles, 157 miles, all these different marathons, and David's one of them. And what's interesting about his story is that when he decided to run, I think he was in his 30s, and he was 320 pounds. He was an alcoholic. He wasn't doing well at the game of life. He was, by his own admission, he wasn't a very good president. He was too drunk to wrap his Christmas gifts out for his kids. So just imagine where he was. And now, instead of being 320 pounds, he weighs, I think it's 160 pounds, and he's a vegan, and he's run dozens of these races, maybe more than dozens. I mean, he's run one called I think the first one he won was called the Leadville, which is 100 miles. And then there's another one that's longer called the Badwater, I believe. And this one goes through Death Valley. All right. Sometimes the temperature's in 120 degrees. And what he does and what David does in his podcast is that he talks about how we all have our superpower and how Superman is just a regular Joe Schmo on his planet. But because he changed the world around him, he was able to change himself and make himself super. And we all have some sort of gift within us that makes us look super to other people. And we got to find out what yours is. And you got to find out what your superpower is. And the podcast is just starting. He's just interviewing some other people. Most of the people that he's interviewing are other ultra marathon runners. Actually, on the way to this park here, I was listening to an interview. He was talking to Marshall Ulrich, who's done the Badwater. That's a 135-mile run through Death Valley. He's done that 20 consecutive times, 20 years in a row. And so, these are organized events. And he interviews other ultramarathon runners. I'm looking forward to him interviewing other people and seeing other people's superpowers besides perseverance and running. And so just a great podcast to listen to. If you're thinking that you're trying to tackle something that's impossible, these guys, at the ages of 50 and 60, they're doing 100-mile plus races. All right, even at the age of 20, that's hard. And so one thing they say is that, the running isn't the hardest thing they've ever done. It's not the hardest thing you'll ever do. And that's a great thing to think about as you're moving forward in your progress. Whatever you're doing next probably isn't the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. And you've done something harder, then you can go ahead and do this one too. So I trust you got some great value out of this. What I invite you to do is to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Also, if you want to see more videos just like this, go to my blog. It's KennySantos.com. You put your name and email in, you're going to get an awesome audio and grow on your business. And remember, the name of the podcast is called We Are Superman. It's by David Clark. He's also written a book out there called Out There. And so you want to learn about some guy that will never give up, look into David Clark. All right, take care and create a great day.